occasionally something really, really funny happens and I can just sit back and smile about it. And this is one of those times, obviously I'm not right all the time or anything like that, but when stuff like this does happen, it is definitely a breath of fresh air, and it's also hilarious to me. So I'm sure you guys are all going to want to stick around for this video. Listen, I get it. A lot of people don't think Xbox gets treated differently in the media or everywhere else. The truth of the matter is obviously different, especially when you look at the way like some of the biggest media outlet for gaming is IGN. That's just a fact. Right, they're the biggest one. Obviously, the YouTubers and all that kind of stuff have taken away quite a bit from all the other sites. The GameSpots, and there used to be many, many, many more sites than what we have now. And again, YouTube has kind of played this part and stuff like that. People go to their favorite YouTuber to get information, despite the fact that most of the time YouTubers are also influencers, and that's not a bad thing, but they're influenced and paid to influence, so they're going to try to influence you. But when it comes to like journalistic stuff, obviously IGN would be the one that people look to, and IGN denies having like this whole bias or whatever. And I've brought up the Xbox tax numerous times, and some people understand it and believe it. Some people don't think that it doesn't happen or whatever. I've cited this multiple times, including multiple times on IGN, where they're playing, they're saying games, the upcoming platforms coming to a game, and they list like the Switch, PC, like other things, like super rare platforms, but they'll leave out Xbox, right? They've done this not just one time, but like multiple times. So they made this tweet, and this is what it says. Xbox finally has some first-party games coming this year, and it surprisingly looks more promising than the PS5's 2024 offerings. Here's the latest episode of Next Gen Console Watch. So they put this out, and I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, this is absolutely asinine. So I made a tweet underneath of it, and I said, Xbox put out more first-party content than they did. It's funny because I said, Xbox put out more first-party content than Sony in 2023 and in 2021. So not only are they going to put out more content, first-party content in 2024, but they've done this multiple other times already as well. And so, as you guys know, on Twitter, there's this thing called community notes where people add context to it, and there was a community note that was added, and that community note was this. In 2023, Xbox released Hi-Fi Rush, Redfall, Minecraft Legends, Forza Motorsport, Starfield, and updates for their live service games. They actually released more than this, because technically the first party also released the remastered or complete remakes of Doom 1 and 2. They also released Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. They owned them at that point. And if you want to get technical, even Diablo 4. They also released Age of Empires 4, Age of Empires 2 remastered or remade or whatever it was. So they also released Ghostwire Tokyo. That was a game that came to Xbox. So they have really released a ton of games, and they have a ton more scheduled for this year. And people really, which I thought was hilarious. And then, what was even more hilarious is, to me anyway, this really goes to show that places like IGN really, really go out of their way to kind of dissuade people from liking Xbox or whatever. And this is just this is the case that happens to it, right? This is why people like myself come out there and talk about Xbox the way that we do, because you're fighting almost a losing battle. And then when you go into the comments, right? So it's easy enough to kind of go, okay, well, blah, blah, blah. But you look at the comments and people are like, well, I'll take quantity or quality over quantity. And it's like, are you serious? And then people like this list that PlayStation fans have now is so hilarious, because it reminds me of those JJ giveaway lists that they used to have back in the day on the PS4. They'd be like, we're getting Godzilla, and we're getting, this, and we're getting that, and we're getting this, and Danganronpa 8. It's like all this stuff that, like, for the majority of people don't care about, have never even heard of. And, it's just kind of hilarious to me. Now, again, these are things that kind of, I guess a lot of this has to go on preference, but when you have people making these lists, and when it's talking about first party is first party. It's like a first party owned studio. You know, they own the IP, all that kind of stuff. You know, Gears of War, Halo, Forza, Fable, Perfect Dark, you know, first party stuff from Xbox, Sony, you know, Uncharted, Last of Us, God of War, Gran Turismo, these first, Ghost of Tsushima, first party stuff. There might be people that are legitimately interested in something like Rise of Ronin or whatever, but when you see people start capping for stuff like Concord, which is a live service game from Sony that could have possibly even been canceled or delayed, you know, originally had a 2024 release date on it, or year on it, but we have seen nothing from it, heard nothing from it. And so when we look at this and we go, and people are legitimately making excuses for this stuff. Oh, well, I'd rather have, you know, this, and this over that, whatever, Microsoft. Are you kidding me? Microsoft looks like they could be releasing Indiana Jones, Avowed, Hellblade 2. Like, these are good-looking games. Even the third-party stuff that's probably timed, like Stalker 2, looks great, right? So Towerborn looks like a blast. You know, it's a smaller game, but it still looks like a blast. So it really goes to show you that people take this stuff in sort of a this weird way. They just look at it and they go, oh man, I would rather, you know, kiss ass of this platform that has nothing, and it looks like they're totally having to redo everything that they believed in. You know, and now they would rather cap for that and be like, oh, who cares what Microsoft's released, like that. The way that people react to this, and it's like sort of crazy to me. Like, what in the world? Like, if Sony were releasing great games, guess what? I would be right there, right? Because guess what? I own a PlayStation 5, I own a Switch, I own an Xbox, I own all these things. So there is nothing that's exclusive from me, you know. But at the same time, when you see people kind of react to Xbox, I've never seen people realistically hate on something as much as Xbox, and I think it's completely unwarranted, to be quite factual about it, because nobody is still giving me an answer as to why people hate Xbox. Like, I don't understand the why behind it, right? I don't think people fully understand what would happen if Xbox ceased to exist as well. You know, Sony would be able to come out with a less powerful machine, charge an exorbitant amount of money for it, raise the prices on everything from games to subscriptions because there's no competition. And like, people would actively cheer this on as some kind of win. So yeah, I honestly do not understand how this is something that people would factually want to kind of back. This is misinformation. It seems like places like IGN go out of their way to make it seem like Xbox has less content or less this or less that to dissuade people from buying it in the first place, which, you know, again, this stuff works. It's like a two-pronged attack. You know, if you got the fanboys, you've got places like IGN. You can actively go into places like, you know, stores like GameStop, and it's like they try to dissuade you as well. So it's crazy as far as I can tell. But let me know what you guys think. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.